Hey, you're with TheEZGZ. Changing the weather. Things have gotten kind of cold here. It's, what do we got here? Can you see it? It's in the 30s there. So, I thought I would put Rusty in the garage. It feels like a little bit of moisture. It's supposed to start getting some snow. And I got back from my trip, put 3,500 miles on that last trip. And a lot of people have been asking me, well, how's Rusty? What's going on? Let's get back on the VW track here. So I thought I would comply with some of those inquiries. And let's go over a few things. Okay, let's see. For the year, I've got over 10,000 miles on Rusty. And for this trip, I put 3,500 miles on it. And when I left, it wasn't perfect. This car is old, and I don't have a lot of money to throw at it. And I just decided that it was either go or stay. And the brakes needed adjusting. The front end is quite sloppy. I actually need to rebuild a different front end. So they're simple cars. What can I say? The engine. Let's see. This thing's been sitting for a while. I needed to do some maintenance on the Toyota there. I knew winter was coming, and I wanted to make sure that everything was tip-top on the Toyota. Did some lube and stuff like that, but let's stay on track here. So this thing's been sitting here for a while. Let's see what we got showing on the dipstick. Okay, that's what's showing on the dipstick after 3,500 miles and adding a quart of oil. Now, of course, all the oil has drained down to the bottom. And on this trip with this engine, just before I went, I added that 1.5 quart oil sump. I haven't washed the car off. I haven't done a stinking thing to it. The whole trip, I didn't touch anything really on the engine other than adding the oil. The carburetors work great. That's the longest I've ever gone without touching the carburetors. And these are the Weber 42 DCNFs, I think is what they're called. And they were used carburetors that came on an engine that I purchased many years ago and never could get them to work right. But this trip I had lowered the float level, and it ran flawlessly the whole trip. This has got a newer style aluminum case. I bought that brand new a few years back, did a video on my 2-liter build, so if you want to go back in the archives, you can find out everything there is to know about that, with the exception of, at the time, it had a performance cam that I was not aware of because there was no markings on it, and that wasn't what I ordered. I ordered a stock cam, and I had put these 1.4 ratio rockers on it, and I ran it that way for 3 years or so, and without any problems. But I think I've come to a revelation, and I'm going to do some videos about what I think makes the best all-around Volkswagen engine. So stay tuned for that. In this case, I think what happened is those springs got tired. I had put heavy-duty single valve springs on it, and they got tired, and things started slapping around, and it started breaking those rocker studs, and I was running really low compression, 6.5 to 1, something like that, and it ran great. It just, don't be afraid of low compression. It's more suitable to today's gas. But as an experiment, I did change heads. I put stock Chinese heads on, aftermarket heads with steel valves. And that's going to be included in a future video, the differences between running these hot rod stainless steel valve heads that I was under the assumption was the best way to go. For years I thought that, but this has proven that wrong. And I don't know whether this is an isolated case or not. Might be straight across the board. Maybe I just got lucky. If it comes to the difference between luck and brains, I depend heavily on luck. But anyhow, let's see what else. I put the seat back in. I don't know if I'm going to do that anymore, go without a passenger seat. I can see this. I saw a snowflake. You see the snowflakes coming down? I think it's maybe just as well to have the passenger seat in and be able to give people rides or that type of thing when you go places, especially when you got a channel and you're visiting people that you know, subscribe your channel, that type of a thing. You know, it'd just be kind of fun to have a normal spot for them to sit. The load shifted. The wire came loose from my fuel pump. I have an electric fuel pump because of a different engine that I was running earlier in the year. And I wanted to see how this engine that's in it, which is a 2-liter, would do. And I took a chance. I put those Chinese heads on and I raised the compression to, I don't know, 8.3. That would have been a sea level measurement. So I'm probably in the mid 7s here at this altitude. I did change the headlights when I got to Michigan because I thought I had one of them out, and again, it turned out to be one of those fuses in the fuse block. Headlights that were on it were pretty pitted up and kind of yellowish, so I bought 2 so they would match, and I had these little brows like I have over here on Valerie, and you know what? I think those had an effect at night, my night vision. So I took those off. There's hardly anything that holds them on, and it did seem to make a difference. I was dodging deer up in the woods in Michigan driving at night, and as well as Minnesota, and it was pretty scary. So having really good lighting on these older cars is important, and I don't know that there was anything the matter with the older lights, but maybe the reflector's better and the clear glass or the prism effect. I think they have made improvements on the lights. They don't just make them the same old way they did 50 years ago. So that was an upgrade that I would highly recommend. And they were like, I think I paid too much for them. They were like $15, $16 each, and I got them like at an AutoZone off the shelf. What else? That's really it. I mean, I didn't have any problems. It's kind of an easy video to make. Didn't use a lot of oil, and you can see underneath it there's a drip because I park here often, pretty much the same place. But with the exposed engine and the snow coming, I have to put it in the garage. And this is one of the things that having an old car like this, if you want to keep driving it, they put junk on the streets, just like any place where you have 4 seasons and you have snow. You're going to have corrosion, and that's about the only thing that you can't easily replace is the body, the chassis, and it's got rust on it anyhow. And I can see where here I've got some blisters coming through. I don't know if you can see that on the paint here. It's starting to show through there. They have some insulation in the paneling, probably sound deadening, to prevent it coming from the engine compartment back. That's another thing I think I'm going to do, is get some tar board and put back in the engine compartment here, because there isn't any. What was in there was junk and I had to take it out. So that will help with sound. And that's the thing, noise as you're going down the road. These are just noisy cars. I saw one other Volkswagen Bug and a bus up in the northern part of Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and that's all I saw on the roads the whole time. Saw a few in towns and a few parked here and there, but nobody out driving them around. And it's really getting chilly out here, so I think I'm gonna make some space in the garage and stick Rusty inside there. We're supposed to get a few inches of snow, and I'm looking forward to it. It's been sitting for a week or more. I probably needed a battery before I went on this trip too. Brake pedal went to the floor. Well, sounds like the fuel pump's making a noise. Uh-oh. How about that? I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but this engine has the best oil pressure of any engine that I've ever had. It's that aluminum case. with a stock 26 millimeter oil pump, and that oil pressure gauge is off. I think it's reading 10 or 15 pounds low. So we should be bypassing the oil cooler right now, and you can hear how smooth the engine's running. Those carbs are fat. Mileage on this trip was probably averaged around 24 miles to the gallon. Of course, you know, I'll go into engine choices in another video. So anyhow, I'm gonna put this baby in the garage. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. Easy, Jeezy.